Are you a Starbucks drinker? When you think of Starbucks, is coffee the only thing that comes to your mind? From a simple cup of black coffee to a complex, multi-adjective Starbucks order, each coffee drinker has their own favorite way of indulging in this caffeinated wonder drink. Starbucks is known for its high-quality coffee and creative beverages. The company also emphasizes the importance of their customers' coffee experience, including free Wi-Fi, friendly baristas, fast service, and comfortable seating. But how has Starbucks changed our lives? How does a simple cup of coffee transform many people's lives in Seattle and all around the world? To start talking about coffee, we have to go all the way back to how coffee was introduced to the Americas. Coffee plants reached the New World during the early 18th century. It didn't get popular until the Boston Tea Party of 1773, when making the switch from tea to coffee became a patriotic duty. In the 1960s, a certain awareness for specialty coffee started to grow, inspiring the opening of the first Starbucks in Seattle in 1971. Jerry Baldwin, Gordon Boker, and Zev Siegel opened the first ever Starbucks store in 1971 by the Pike Place Market. In its first year, Starbucks only sold coffee beans, tea, and spices, along with coffee makers, grinders, and teapots. September of 1982, Starbucks hired a director of marketing, Howard Schultz, and he transformed Starbucks into espresso bars from coffee bean retail stores. He built a reputation as being a progressive leader, advocating for higher minimum wages and healthcare, and eventually using the company's clout to promote fair trade policies.
And on a rainy morning in Seattle, Starbucks served its first cafe latte.
For the cup of good coffee, I just walk half a block north on 4th Avenue to Starbucks. All those great caffeine-charged drinks with the Italian names Cafe Latte, Cafe Macchiato, and Mocha. I love it.
So, to what extent did Starbucks impact the development of Seattle from 1971 to 2023? Well, first of all, Starbucks transformed Seattle into a place where tourists would actually consider going to when planning their next trip. When Starbucks first opened, coffee wasn't as popular as it is today, and people would have never dreamt of a coffee shop where they could sit down and chat with their friends over a cup of freshly brewed coffee. Which is why there were no seats or tables for people to sit down and chat in the original Starbucks. As Starbucks became more popular all over the world, people wanted to check out what the first Starbucks looked like. Tourists from all around the world poured into the city and onto the Pike Place Market's cobblestone streets. As I stumbled up the brick streets, still groggy from my flight, I realized visiting the world's first Starbucks might be a whole thing. I listened to excited sightseers speaking in different languages. A few dozen people stuffed themselves into a queue outside. Inside, the store was just as packed. Selfie sticks abounded. After squeezing through the sidewalk, I found a place at the back of the line. We kept access clear for the Mexican grocery next door, but no one went in. Maybe they'll serve really old coffee beans, said a woman in line. Quote by Kirby Wilson, Tampa Bay Times staff. The rise of tourism in Seattle promoted economic growth, created more job opportunities, strengthened businesses, and bolstered local pride. In addition, Starbucks also transformed the lifestyle of Seattleites. Howard Schultz, one of the founders of Starbucks, emphasized the importance of the place on the corner, real-life alternatives to television, easy escapes from the cabin fever of marriage and family life that do not necessitate getting into an automobile. However, over time, less people utilize Starbucks as a place to connect with people and an escape from their work and family life anymore. People in Seattle adapted to this change. Nowadays, many Seattleites just come in, grab a coffee, and go. Other people bring in their laptops and use Starbucks as a workplace. Some even try to keep social interaction to a minimum by using the drive-thru window.
Starbucks. I get coffee and a breakfast sandwich and I jot out of there. It's made it easier for kids to get coffee and food, definitely. Maybe it's created like more of a culture around coffee in the Northwest. I think it's become a place for people to hang out and socialize, and it's created this community of friends, and everyone can socialize there and hang out.
Starbucks. I just usually mobile order, grab my food and go. I think maybe it's become a place where you can go, a new place where you can go get food.
That's right, Starbucks became a popular hangout spot for people in Seattle. They never had this kind of space where people could sit down and chat with their friends over a cup of coffee prior to the establishment of the first Starbucks store. Therefore, Starbucks transformed the lifestyle of many people and altered the way people thought about and treated coffee shops. Finally, Starbucks and its programs also contributed to the improvement of social issues such as homelessness and food poverty. In King County, an estimated 1 in 5 people struggle to afford to have enough to eat. In White Center, 22% of residents live below the federal poverty line. Hundreds of volunteers help pack lunches to be distributed at local food banks and shelters as part of an official Starbucks Food Share kickoff event at Seattle Center, making the program's expansion into the Seattle area. Through the Food Share program, nourishing food that hasn't sold at Starbucks stores is collected each night in refrigerated trucks to be distributed to area food banks, homeless shelters, Mary Place, and various other social services organizations through a partnership with Food Lifeline.
The Starbucks Food Share program has really cracked the logistics puzzle between food rescue and food donation. And it's because of our Starbucks partners that this program is able to have such impact at scale across all of our U.S. company-owned stores.
The Food Share program sprung at requests from Starbucks partners who wanted to find a way to donate the excess food that wasn't sold in their stores during the day. It allowed Starbucks leaders to donate all the perishable food, not only pastries, in a consistent way. The Starbucks Food Share program is a truly innovative program that has enabled food banks to rescue surplus food and distribute it to people facing hunger. We are thankful to Starbucks for its commitment to fighting hunger and for helping to support our neighbors in need across the country. Quote from Diana Aviv, CEO of Feeding America. Over the last 4 years, chronic homelessness has risen at an annual rate of 42% in Seattle, King County, the second fastest in the United States. The Starbucks community investments total to nearly $500K to address this major issue.
On any given night, there are 500 families in the Seattle area sleeping outside. Many of them can be found in their cars, some in tents. We pulled mothers out of porta potties with their children.
Starbucks partner up with the We Are In Coalition, and their seed funding investments will support the implementation of the King County Regional Homelessness Authority's Partnership for Zero project, a new united approach to dramatically reduce homelessness. Starbucks and the Starbucks Foundation have been working for years with nonprofit organizations like Mary's Place, Wellspring Family Services, and United Way of King County to connect unsheltered families to critical resources and care to help them move into stable, permanent, and safe housing. Not only did Starbucks change the coffee culture in the Pacific Northwest and throughout the world, but it also contributed to the economic growth in Seattle through tourism. In addition, their social programs improved lives for many minorities in the greater Seattle area.